Just want to say good morning and welcome everyone to the session, Are You Leaving Talent on the Table? I am Paige Wilkerson. I am a career coach here with Rutherford County Schools at Laverne High School. And here with us, our panelist this morning is Corey Wingfield, and he is the Transitioning Services Specialist for the Transition Assistance Program at Fort Campbell. And we have Lindsey Davis, and she is the Reentry Program Coordinator of the Rutherford County Correctional Work Center, and also with the Rutherford County Adult Detention Center. And then we also have Pam Furlong. She is the Community Tennessee Rehabilitation Center Middle Tennessee Area Manager. So she works with vocational rehabilitation, and she's also worked in behavior and case management at the Tennessee Rehabilitation Center here in Smyrna. I say that because we're in Smyrna, and if y'all are familiar with TRC, which is a great program here locally. So we're going to go ahead and let Mr. Wingfield go ahead and begin.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Corey Wingfield. I am the Transition Service Specialist. I am not from Tennessee, so I do talk fast. I have 99 slides, and I will spend about 20 seconds on every slide, so you got to listen slow, or do you want to listen fast? All up to you. So I have a lot of information to cover. All right, so what Fort Campbell has to offer is everything that you want. So Fort Campbell, we exit over 8,000 soldiers a year from Fort Campbell alone every single year. Now with that, you might say that's a large number. It's a small number because with Fort Campbell, we have over 27,000 active duty soldiers. That is only with the 101st alone. That's not Special Forces, not the Green Berets, not the hospitals, not the airfield, it's not all the other subunits on Fort Campbell. With 8,000 soldiers, that's a lot. Now with 8,000 soldiers, that equates to about 4,700 leave-out gates one last time every single month. 30% stay right here in the Tennessee, Kentucky area. Other 70% will go back anywhere where they came from in the country. Oh. Now, we see this little circle, we're not going to talk about it, but we're right here, number 3. That means they're about to get out the military. So number 4 is when they actually transition back into that civilian sector. Now, we got 4 different types of categories. You got the retirees. That soldiers have 20 years of military service. They will start our program at least 24 months before they retire. ETS, exit terms of service, soldier will start that program at least 12 months before they separate. Medboard, medically retiree soldiers, they will start immediately because that's when the soldier injures himself and they need to exit the military kind of fast. So they start our program immediately because it could be 3 to 6 to 9 months before they separate. And involuntary separation. With that word alone, involuntary separation, it sounds bad, but it's not truly all bad because of course, every workforce has that troublemakers. We got our druggies, we got the alcoholics, we got the bad folks, right? But the other part of the involuntary separations are our single parents. Single parents, if they have to go play army in the bushes for a week and they do not have somebody watch their kids for a few days, soldier can actually be separated from out the military. Or a soldier can't fit in that uniform no more because the button's about to pop, we kind of let them go. Or they can't shoot that gun, weapon, straight. They will be exiting from the military as well. So this is a perfect timeline. This is what it's supposed to look like, but all actuality is not the case. What TAP is, Transition Assistance Program, is mandated by Congress. So every soldier that's separated from the military have to go through our program. So when I told you about those 12 months, 24 months, that's perfect world. But I have 4,500 soldiers that's deployed somewhere right now, and some of them will get back right here. So it's not a perfect world. So it's all mandated by Congress. So every Wednesday and Thursday, I hold little mini job fairs at our center. That's about, Wednesday and Thursday, my most populated day. I have about between 200 and 300 soldiers in our building going through some type of classes there. So on Wednesday and Thursdays, I hold mini job fairs. I bring 8 to 12 companies from anywhere from the country. This week alone, this Wednesday, I had Washington State Police at our center. 30% stay right here, 70% will go everywhere else in the world. So these law enforcement, 3-letter agencies, big letters, small letters, all type of industrials and companies come to Fort Campbell to get this talent because they hear 27,000, 8,000 leave our gates every year, 300 to 400, 300 to 700 every single month. A lot of soldiers tend to stay here because, and like I said, I am not from Tennessee. I'm from Philadelphia. I'm retired in Hawaii. My wife, I always said at work. My wife was in the military as well. We jumped on an airplane and came here. I'm from Philly, she's from Chicago, she's retired now, and we're not going to Philly or Chicago. We're here in Tennessee, okay? All right. Let's keep it going, and one more. All right, so Fort Campbell, what we have to offer, this talented pool. With another process we have, other than the many job fairs, every Wednesday and Thursday, 8 to 12 companies. The large job fair is conducted every quarter. I bring in 174 companies from around the world. I'm not famous on Facebook, I'm not famous on TikTok. But I'm kind of important on LinkedIn because employers, HRs, recruiters know where I work. I have my hands around all 27,000 active duty soldiers, and they kind of find me on LinkedIn, and they try to get to our events on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and they come to our large job fair. That's how I'm able to bring 174 companies from the world, around the world, not just from Tennessee and Kentucky. Now, CSP, Career Skills Program. We have over 30 programs just on Fort Campbell alone. If a soldier wants to last 180 days in the military, they can actually get into, let's say, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical. That's conducted right there in Nashville with Hiller. Hiller offered HVAC, plumbing, and electrical program for 90 days. So they can become skilled in those programs because we train them for a career, not a job. These are not jobs, these are careers. Now, once we become apprentice with those programs, they go anywhere in the country. So they do job placement as well. So if soldiers decide they want to go back to New York, California, but we try to provide them, keep them in Tennessee because, of course, we know the labor market is a little crazy in New York, California. So we try to keep them in Tennessee. And from 30 programs, these are mostly offered from the companies, and there's no money coming out of the soldiers' pocket because now you got an investment in these soldiers. Next up, please. So at Fort Campbell TAP, we offer all these programs right here in our little campus. We have 4 buildings connected to our little campus, and we provide all these services for soldiers. So all those 8,000 have to come to us. Now we have a VIP in this building right now, Miss Stephanie. Came to our little Fort Campbell tour a little while ago. Could you tell us about it real quick?
Sure. So we brought about 20, I work at the Nashville Area Chamber of Commerce, first of all. So we brought about 20 employers from the Nashville area up to visit for a full day. And it was intermixed with fun activities as well as a lot of information. And the fun activities included things like a helicopter ride, shooting machine guns, rappelling, those kind of things. The employers love that. But they also got to meet directly with transitioning soldiers and spouses. And one of the highlights of the day, really the highlight of the day, was at the very end when we went over to TAP and we had transitioning soldiers just walking out of the class they had just attended. Corey was stopping them as they walked out of the building. We had our employers standing around and he was just saying, "What's your plan? What do you want to do next? What's your plan?" And there were probably 10 specific examples of a soldier who said, "I'm interested in logistics," or "I'm interested in the medical field." Connected them right there on the spot with employers. They were exchanging cards, they were setting up times to talk. It was very organic, but it was really meaningful and was just a kind of a small example of what happens there at the TAP office.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. And like I said, everything that we do is mandated by Congress. So our job is to help that soldier transform back into that military, get out that uniform and get to that shirt and tie, blue collar, black collar, whatever you try to get into. And a biggest thing is get rid of those acronyms and military jargons, because if a soldier says, "I'm an infantryman, I shoot guns and I drive tanks," what does that mean to you? Hello? That's an open question. That's for everybody. So, mandatory class, Department of Labor workshop. So instead of saying it that way, a person or a soldier will say, "I'm an infantryman, I shoot different type of weapon systems, and I drive large vehicles." What is the difference between the two things I just said?
Relevant to employers.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly. So the first one is military jargon and acronyms. Second one, so the soldiers call it civilian talk. What is civilian talk? Don't exist. It's called English. So a lot of soldiers forget that. Now we got to get those jargons, acronyms out of their mouth and start speaking English again, just to get them incorporated back into the civilian sector. These soldiers are more afraid of you than you're afraid of them. Because once you come to a little job fair, I do it every Wednesday and Thursday, the soldier mission is go from A to B. Classroom to outside to go to smoke, go to the restroom, vending machine, A to B. It could be Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, Santa Claus, lined in this hallway with different types of job opportunities. Soldiers will walk down the hallway, they'll put their eye this way, but won't be afraid to talk to these employers. Opportunity is right there. So if you're an HR recruiter, I have cards placed up here. If you wanted to be a part of just a little weekly event, reach out, hit me up on the email, and I'll get back with you and put you on the schedule between. And then, military spouses. All right, so population that we had is overlooked is the military spouses, simply because most of our military spouses are educationally more proficient than our actual soldiers, because they could have a master's degree, bachelor's degree, or whatever, or if a soldier's spouse happened to had to go to Germany for 3 years. Now, on that resume, we got 3 years of missing work history on that resume, and then they come back here trying to find that employment, and they could be a software engineer, they could be a NASA engineer, they could be this and that. So don't forget our military spouses as well, because they're key to that family. Especially if you want the soldier to move here, you gotta talk to that spouse. Hey, they got great schools here, they got great playgrounds, they got great housing down here. Talk to that spouse, get them down here to work in this area. Any questions? How much time?
No, you got it's a couple of minutes, come on.
Okay, we started all over again?
I think you can do it faster.
I know I can. That was actually so compared to the first time, wasn't it?
He was.
See, exactly. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Lindsey Davis. I'm the reentry program coordinator here with Rutherford County. So, so I'm gonna ask y'all a question first. You don't have to answer out loud, just answer to yourself. How many of you have ever done something, maybe you got caught, maybe you didn't get caught, something against the law? So think about that for a second and say, thank you for your honesty. But if we're all honest, just like you raised your hand, we would all probably raise our hands. So that being said, there are about 600,000 individuals who are released from incarceration annually, which is a huge talent pool that a lot of us are probably missing. The reentry program is a subsection of the 16 Judicial District Recovery Courts, which includes drug court, DUI court, mental health court, and a veterans treatment court. So if y'all aren't familiar with those are what we would call alternatives to incarceration. And unfortunately, not everyone qualifies for one of those, so they remain incarcerated, which is where the reentry program comes in for those individuals. We work with individuals who are incarcerated in the Rutherford County Adult Detention Center, which is what we call 940, and then the Correctional Work Center. The detention center could hold up to 980 individuals, and the work center could hold about 300. These programs are designed to increase public safety and decrease recidivism by investing in justice-involved individuals and assisting them to become productive members of society. So recidivism, you'll hear me say that word a lot. Recidivism is the likelihood to return to incarceration. So that's a number that we really want to decrease. I'll go ahead and mention it now. The state of Tennessee has a recidivism rate of about 47%. The reentry program has a recidivism rate of 18%. So hands-on with these individuals while they're incarcerated really does make a difference. Let's see. While we're in the jails, we provide programming such as anger management, coping skills, substance use, things like that. Case management, which includes housing assistance, treatment referrals, employment referrals at both facilities as well. And then the bottom, so our Correctional Work Center has what we call a work release program. So individuals, while they're incarcerated, we partner with a couple of different businesses in the area, and they can actually work a real job Monday through Friday while they're incarcerated and earn actual paycheck. So a common theme with my presentation, you're going to see a lot of quotes. I like quotes. So second chance hiring is the practice of hiring individuals with a criminal record. Second chance hiring is not only altruistic, but it also taps into a massive source of talent that many businesses can benefit from. There are an estimated 70 million Americans with an arrest or conviction that create significant barriers to returning to society. So the next thing I want to talk about is some second chance barriers, which I'm sure some of y'all are probably very familiar with these. Some things that employers and HR professionals have said is that they are concerned about legal liability of hiring individuals with criminal background. Concerned with what other employees would think about individuals with a criminal background. They may be concerned that they won't have the necessary skills, and transportation is also a valid barrier. How are you going to get back towards work if you don't have a driver's license? So another quote. Second chance hiring encourages businesses to consider candidates with criminal backgrounds and make them employable. It focuses on helping employers evaluate their overall value to the company instead of directly rejecting them because of their criminal record. So next I want to talk about some benefits of second chance hiring. There are many benefits. So first is reform. Significant reduction in recidivism when individuals with criminal backgrounds have meaningful employment. And I'll jump to this one, value. Research shows that second chance hires are highly loyal, productive, motivated, and have low turnover. So they have meaningful employment, which is keeping them out of incarceration and building stronger communities. It all plays in together. So inclusion is also another benefit. The opportunity to build inclusive, diverse, successful workplaces and stronger communities. Safety as well. So a former incarcerated individual is working and earning an honest living. They're supporting themselves and their families, and they're avoiding that life of crime. And then financial, which y'all may have learned about it, or you may learn about a little bit more about this in another session. There is what's called the Federal Work Opportunity Tax Credit, which allows employers to claim 25 to 40% tax credit for qualified employees, depending on the hours of work. So that's available for individuals with criminal backgrounds. Another quote, done right, second chance hiring that offers the needed training and support repays the required investment with loyal, productive, and profitable employees. The upfront costs can even effectively be offset by tax credits. Without such an approach, our labor force cannot hope to reflect the diversity of our population. So here are a few tips and tools for hiring individuals with a criminal background. Be transparent, not transparent with their criminal record, but transparent that you are supporting the Second Chance Initiative. I think it's very important. Community partners. So it's important to find reentry resources, such as the reentry program, that can help you connect, develop that workforce, and recruiting as well. So your culture. You want to make second chance hiring a part of your culture. It starts at the top. If our leaders are against hiring individuals with background, then we all are going to be in that stigma. We'll still be there. Hire for potential. A solution to finding talented individuals is hiring the best person for the job, regardless of what's on their. And then support. I think it's vital to provide training and work supports, employee assistance, wellness plans, mentoring, and connections with other resources to individuals who are leaving incarceration. Individuals leaving incarceration are more likely to suffer from trauma, substance abuse, and things like that when they need extra support. I'm sure y'all guessed it. Second chance hiring is not preferential treatment. It is simply equal treatment through the elimination of unnecessary systematic barriers. Many hiring managers are fearful of the very idea of a criminal record, but returning citizens are not a uniform category. They are individual applicants with individual profiles. So here's a success story. Before I tell you about his success story, I'll tell you a little bit about the work release program. So the work release program, like I said, partners with agencies in the community that will hire individuals while they're incarcerated. So this is Stephen Tyler, of course it's not his real name. He was incarcerated since 2019. He began working at a local agency through the work release program in early 2021. He was released in August of 22. He still remains employed with the company to this day. When he was released, he received a raise in his first month of release. He's been able to pay his child support, remain current, obtain affordable and stable housing, and he's almost paid off all of his fines and fees to reinstate his driver's license, which is huge coming out of incarceration less than 6 months ago. He is a vital asset to the company and frequently trains new employees, so he is very, very needed. So in summary, I want you, to ask you, what is your policies on second chance hire? And do you have policies that won't allow second chance hire people with a background check? Why? Ask your supervisors why. So the re-entry program, we have recently brought in approximately $2 million to both facilities in Rutherford County. And so we are working with TCAT, with Motlow, and we are going to be bringing in some vocational training programs. Those programs that we're bringing in are going to be a building, electrical, plumbing technology program. We're also going to be doing an NCCER certification, OSHA certification, and then an IT program as well. So that's where we're starting. We hope that it grows from there after we get this off the ground. But we're looking for employers who are willing to hire second chance, who want to partner with us to build those connections while they're incarcerated, so we have, tapped into this available employees early on. And then, of course, I want to leave you with one more quote. 85% of business leaders and professionals report that employees with criminal records perform the same or better than employees without criminal records. Any questions?
So these barriers to employment qualify for WIOA?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And secondly, which industries do you find are most accepting of this program?
I would definitely say construction, factory, restaurants. Those would probably be the top three. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but our program is available to anyone who's incarcerated. It's voluntary. There's no criteria. The criteria is that you have to be incarcerated. And then that's where we find our clients. That's where we make the connections. Then we'll work with them, their families, try to at least follow them for a year after the release.
Any success in getting them involved in apprenticeships?
So apprenticeships is not something that we've really tapped into yet. It's definitely something we'd really to explore for sure.
All right, and the question was, are any of these people involved with apprenticeship programs? Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Pam Furlong, and I work with the state's vocational rehabilitation program. And just disclaimer, the state makes us approve every presentation. So to me, this is not my my train of thought. I think it's all over the place, so bear with me. Go to about a third.
I go
Yeah.
too far.
Yeah, there we go. So vocational rehabilitation is it's in every state. It's federal and state funded, and it's in every state. And here in Tennessee, there is going to be a rehabilitation counselor that serves every county across the state. Sometimes there's, in larger populated areas, there's going to be more. And one of the things that we don't mention throughout this entire thing is the Tennessee Rehabilitation Center here in Smyrna. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but it's over here by the base, and it is a residential facility, serves all individuals statewide with disabilities. They can go there, they learn, they have things like automotive, they have some building trades, warehousing, hospitality, food service. They're working on a child care program, and they are working on a custodial program, and they're trying to find a person to teach the pharmacy tech program. So if y'all know anybody that is certified to teach pharmacy tech, they're looking for that. But, and then along with that, they teach and they have all the supports that go along with that. And then all the counties feed into that. So if someone wants to go there, they do that. But it's not addressed in here, so I just want to tell you that on the front end. So, okay, so Voc Rehab is committed to strengthening communities through intentional person-centered services and collaborative partnerships. We serve all persons with disability. We prepare them for employment in the competitive labor market. We have several specialized units. There's going to be VR counselors. There's going to be business employment consultants. There's going to be coordinators and specialists that go out and actually teach the job readiness skills and things like that. So we're funded by the Department of Education, and our goal is to assist individuals with disabilities to enter into the workforce. These are some of the services that we offer. Pre-employment transition services, that's fairly new for us. It came about because of legislation passed in 2014. And that is where we're gonna start serving individuals, teaching them job readiness skills at the age of 14. So we're going into the middle schools, high schools, and teaching, resumes, soft skills, things like that. And we're gonna do the same thing for adults, in our career services. VR is an eligibility program, but it's not based on income, it's based on the fact that you have a disability. So everybody that receives services has a disability, and it presents a barrier to employment. They can be referred from anybody, businesses. I've had individuals have difficulty at work, and they say, well, it's because of my disability, and the employer will call me and say, hey, can you help us out with this? So that's just an example of that. The only place that we really look at money as far as eligibility is when we're sending people to college and paying them for school, things like that. Okay, this is what we call pre-ETS, pre-employment transition services, between the ages of 14 and 22, have to have a disability, secondary or post-secondary. There's no income related eligibility for those. So, to qualify for VR, you just have to have a disability, have to have a barrier to employment. They'll help you prepare for finding a job, and it's gonna be individualized. It's not gonna be, group employment. Okay, if you are receiving Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, you automatically are qualified for vocational rehabilitation services. And a lot of people that we work with, they're receiving those services and they're scared that, well, if I go to work, I lose my Social Security, I lose my 10K, what happens then? I don't wanna go to work if that's gonna happen. Well, we have a relationship with Social Security and the benefits analyst that will come out and speak to them, and he'll tell you it's always better to go to work. So, we can deal with that too. Okay. So we kind of talked a little bit about, I talked about pre-employment transition services, and we also serve businesses interested in diversifying their workforce and being inclusive of individuals with disabilities. Okay, pre-employment transition services. And some of you may be getting, you may have dealt with some of the school systems on work-based learning, because the school systems are always gonna be looking for businesses that are gonna be accepting of being a training site for these individuals. So, as HR people, that might be something that you would be willing to look into. But these are the services that we work on with the middle school and high school kids. Okay, so that's the same thing. And again, that's the same thing. And I will touch a little bit on Project Search. Project Search is a worldwide company that it was started in Cincinnati, and here in Rutherford County, we have one at Embassy Suites in Murfreesboro. And they have 12 individual students that come from all the different Rutherford County schools, and they rotate through internships at the hotel. They can be trained on housekeeping, bellman, comp breakfast, set up and tear down of all the banquet stuff. And they do that in their last year of high school, so then if any of you are hotel people, they're ready to go. So as soon as they graduate, if you're looking for hotel folks, they're trained. So, you know, the VR counselors are gonna be their point of contact, and they're gonna, you know, possibly refer for job readiness classes, may do some assessments and discovery to find out where their strengths and weakness, skills and abilities are. They're gonna draw up a plan, and, you know, the counselor's gonna have to stick by that plan. And then, you know, we're gonna try and find competitive integrated employment. Okay, and these are the things these are things that we offer, counseling guidance, job search, job placement. We're gonna do resumes, mock interviews, things like that, so. Okay, career counseling and guidance, but this is just that out. Okay, so some of the things that we offer as far as training, grad school, college, 2-year college, vocational training such as here, on the job training, apprenticeships, although I know you asked, they're not, I don't know that we've done any just yet. They're not real popular just yet, but we can do them. The ABLE program, the Adult Basic Literacy program, we can help with that, job readiness and customized training. Okay, tuition assistance, we can help with tuition as long as the household income isn't like over the top. And then we also do the spend down if they qualify for the Promise or Reconnect or something like that. We're gonna have them use those funds first. Work adjustment, up until about 3 years ago, we had a facility and we did work adjustment hands-on. We had people bring work in and all that. And when COVID hit, it gave us the opportunity to say, we're not doing that anymore. We're taking our folks out in the community and we're gonna do that same thing out in the community, so. And then job readiness is just getting those soft skills ready to go, the application resume, those kinds of things. And then this driver training here, okay, we were never allowed to do that. Smyrna always did, but then they quit. So that driver's training, we will help pass the test, but we are not getting in the car. That's gonna be on their parents or whoever, but yeah. So, but we'll help them pass the test. Okay, so, and then it says transportation. We will only provide transportation once a person gets a job, until they get their first paycheck. So, yeah, we're not, that makes it sound like it's ongoing. It is not ongoing. You know, we may be able to teach them like the Rover route or how to use Uber or Lyft or something like that, but we're not gonna pay for ongoing transportation. We will pay for, you know, like if they come here to TCAT, we'll pay for their tools that they need to do like industrial electrical maintenance. If they're in cosmetology, that kit that they have to have is, I know it's expensive, but we'll pay for that. We'll pay for their scrubs, their boots and things like that. If they are maybe nonverbal and need assistive technology to help them speak, you know, we can make arrangements to get things like that, so. So like I said, gas money, bus ticket until they get their first paycheck, meals and tuition, room and board, things like that are all part of the whole college thing. May or may not be paid for, I'm just gonna tell you that up front. We do uniform, childcare for things, and then the equipment. Okay, when we serve the business community, we have individuals out there that work in our business services unit, and we have people that will come in and work with you as hiring managers to hire the person on the ground level. We also have individuals that work at the corporate level. So, you know, you may say, well, you know, you might hear, well, Voc Rehab was in here today and talked to the CEO, and this is what they said, or you may hear, well, they came into the hiring office today and this is what they want to do. So, you know, could come from the top or the bottom. Yeah. Okay, so windmills training, that's in here, but it's just kind of a training that we've been trained to train businesses on, just, you know, how to work with individuals and what some of the barriers might be, and you know, basically it's a lot of common sense and not excluding someone because they have a disability. And that's the same thing. Okay. So, that's just, so we advocate for the employment of individuals with disabilities based on their individual strengths, weaknesses, skills, abilities. You know, we're gonna focus on their individual skills and not just, you know, throw them all together and this fits you. And, you know, we're gonna look for competitive integrated employment in the competitive labor market. So, and I just have to say, this is a state program. We have the federal program in our midst today. So, if you have some federal questions, now would be a good time to ask them too. She's sitting back there. Any questions?
No questions. Is there any questions for any of our panelists? Because we have about 8 minutes left here, so if you thought of something you want to ask Corey or any comments? Yes.
Yes, Corey, is there a website where employers can post job opportunities?
Well,
Okay, the question was, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The question was, is there a website where employers can post job opportunities, right?
it was previously simply because my coworker no longer worked there. She was the only one certified on this special training for our job board. But if you have job leads or anything, send them to me, and my card's up front. I'll get them on LinkedIn, I'll get them on Facebook, I get them on Twitter and different stuff. I have job boards at the center that if you have any type of flyer, send them to me. If you send URLs to me, since I'm on a military installation, I can't open them all. But if you send it to me in a PDF, PowerPoint slide or so, I can put them up, I can post them, and also have a rotating television screen that when the soldiers are waiting for their classes, they have to sit in our lobby. I have a rotating television with your flyers so the soldier can hit that QR code that's on your flyers, or just copy down that HR person. And if you do send me something, I would advise, don't send your corporate websites. Soldiers are kind of special. So if you give me the HR email or some type of person that actually lives somewhere instead of corporate website, the soldier will not look at a corporate website. They will look at that email and say, oh, Miss Stephanie's right here, I can email her or have a phone number, I can get in contact with them. Soldiers are special, you gotta remember that.
Yes.
I can attest to Corey. I'm a veteran and I work with the Soldier for Life Center, and they have been great. Also, one of the things that I found out with them, if you have a certain type of candidate that you're looking for or you need to fill a position, he's been able to send me resumes with people that meet those qualifications, so thank you for that. But my question around Second Chance, do you have any type of training for employers? Because a lot of times we are looking as recruiters to hire those people, but the hiring managers may have some reservations. Do you offer any type of training?
So not at this moment, we don't offer training, but the money that I talked about with the grant funding that's coming in, this is all kind of a new venture that we're putting into our facilities. And so that is something that I'm looking to do, is like bringing anyone who's interested to the table so we can all express, you know, concerns, needs and things like that. And so it's definitely something that will be coming.
Thank you.
What about remote working? How has that changed any of, you know, the services that you're able to provide? Like, are those jobs?
So with the pandemic, I will say that we didn't stop because unfortunately crime is still going to continue. So we didn't stop. We didn't In one facility, we did have to do a little bit more remote, which is our bigger facility, but in the other one, we were still in there every single day, hands-on with all the individuals. So it affected us in a way that it was a little bit harder to find the staff, which I think it did everybody.
On the flip side, for the clients that you're serving, are employers maybe more willing to consider hiring if it's a remote position?
I don't know the answer to that, but it's definitely something that I would look into for sure.
I know we have a relationship with NHC. No, that's not right. That's the other one, United Healthcare, UHC. And, they strictly came to us and want individuals to work from home. So, yeah. And if there's any veterans out there that have disabilities, they do qualify for both programs. They do qualify for the federal program and for the state program.
And then real quick, I just want to mention that if anyone is interested in getting more information about our work release program or the vocational training that we're bringing into the facilities, my card is up there. Feel free to reach out with any questions.
It's my turn now, again. Well, another misconception, a lot of employers, industrials, believe that soldiers have health care for their entire life. The only ones that have that are retirees and medically retired soldiers. So everyone else that gets out of the military less than more than 3, but less than 18, do not have health care. So that's a misconception, some of industrials. So once you offer a soldier a benefit package, please, that's one of the biggest things they look for is about health care. Because soldiers go through their whole career, do not pay for health care, and then when they see that sticker price of how much it costs per month, it's terrifying to them.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All right, well, thank you, and remember, again, that they all have business cards set up there if you need to pick those up to make contact with them later. Thank you, and so you have till 11:15 before you go to your last session.
Good to see you.